So, I want to be as transparent as I can. I want to be as unbiased as I can when it comes to these conversations, and hopefully, you all can be the same. You can be unbiased and admit our own faults and not be so gung ho to just try to tear down uh, our baby mothers or baby fathers. I don't know why I added air quotes. Don't mind me. But I wrote a lot down while I was at work. I also looked up a few things as far as what I wanted to talk about today. And what I want to talk about today is jealousy inside co-parenting. I know it's probably a sensitive situation. I mean, sensitive subject for those who are going through it, and it's probably sensitive for those putting other people through it because usually narcissists don't want to hear about themselves. So, but that's okay. But I feel like jealousy plays a big part in co parenting, especially if the two parents were never together. But I'm talking more so about, I guess, co parenting with the person that you actually did have a history with. So sometimes, let me see, sometimes there is, sometimes, I'm sorry, sometimes co parenting can be rocky. And there is a lot of jealousy that comes into it, whether people want to admit it or not. Maybe you were jealous, or maybe the other parent was jealous of something. A lot of people who usually are jealous, they can never admit it. It's wasting your time, I guess, ever even trying to get them to prove they were jealous. Just take it as it is. But a lot of the situations with co-parenting stems from jealousy. Um, Sometimes it could be jealous about the bonds you might have with your child. It could be you could have more things going on with you that are positive than the opposite. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. And what I want to focus on first is changing roles and one losing control. So usually this is for people who are, I guess, dating the person they had a child with. Usually it starts with separating. You lose control of the other person's life, dates. It's a lot that you lose control of when you aren't with that person anymore, especially a kid. So if y'all had a kid prior and y'all were together, it was a lot easier. You didn't have to pit yourselves against each other to see who would get more attention from the child. You didn't have to go through stuff like that because y'all were together. But if they're with somebody new, it could it could trigger something like a insecurity. I'm sorry, my notes are all jumbled. Don't mind me, but it can definitely trigger some insecurities. It could trigger, like, maybe you might think, uh, I'm not as fun as the other parent. Maybe I'm not as smart. Maybe I don't like look as good or whatever. It's a lot of things that can trigger one parent to get jealous or feel insecure. One could be being replaced. They could feel like they're being replaced. So if you have your child and y'all are doing whatever together, something really fun, and they go back telling the other parent, sometimes the parents don't like to hear that. Sometimes they might feel like they're being outdone, so then in return, like they have to try to like do something similar to what you had done with your child, or they try to like outdo you, and they try to go out the way to either make sure you see it, or they just go on a social media like just tirade and just post to get a point across. It's different when you posting and it's genuine versus you're posting something and you're trying to get a reaction from a specific person. It's not genuine when you're posting it trying to get somebody else upset. Um, I feel like you shouldn't fear being replaced. Your child loves you just like they should love the other parent. So I don't know why anybody, male or female, would feel scared to be replaced. I don't think it should be looked at that way. Like me personally, I I love my son. I don't I don't care about being replaced. I that doesn't cross my mind even if his mom were to be with someone. I don't worry about being replaced because I love my son. And the only thing I would to worry about is if my son was safe. And my son told me already that he likes who uh, his mom is with, and he doesn't do anything to him. And that's all a father could ask for when it comes to co-parenting. As long as my son is safe, it's okay. Just like the mother would want the same for her child if he was around another woman, he would want she would want him to be safe. So at the end of the day, both parties just want safety. So being replaced is never crossed my mind. I just feel like parents I feel like co-parenting that should never be a thing because if you are the main caregiver of him or her, you shouldn't worry about that at all because they're always with you. So you'll always be able to grow a much stronger bond low key if you're around them more. So I feel like whoever has the child mainly should never be insecure or feel like they should have the fear of being replaced. I feel like that's more so reserved of the parent that isn't always there. Granted, it could switch, but like most of the times, it's the parents that aren't the main caregiver, the ones who feel like they could be replaced because they don't have their child most of the time. But like I say, if somebody feels like they're in fear of being replaced, don't feel that way. Just make sure your child is safe, and that's all that matters, in my opinion. Another point could be unresolved relationship emotions. Granted, I'm still speaking for those who were dating, but for those who had a child with somebody who they never dated, I feel like it's a bit more tricky because sometimes I feel like if you have a child with someone that you necessarily didn't want to have a child with, but they wanted to have one with you, it might be a problem because sometimes they tend to not let go. Like they could feel like because you gave them a child that they're entitled to you. And sadly, I feel like that's not true. The only thing that y'all have tied to each other is a child. So I feel like it should always revolve around the child. The relationship should not hinder anything doing with the child. Y'all could hate each other. Y'all could hate each other. But as long as the child is coming before the hate, that's totally fine. But in no under no circumstances at all should the child be in the middle of y'all personal squabble. No reason at all. It's no reason for any parent, male or female, to try to use their child to one up the other parent. That should never that should never happen. And I feel like when one doesn't have that relationship they wanted, then it could turn sour because they're upset that you didn't give them what they wanted. And you could be male or female. You could be the male who isn't giving the mother what they want, or you could be the mother who isn't giving the father what they want. Because you could not want to be with the father, but the father would want to be with you. So it's both sides. But those unresolved relationship problems carry over. So if you could have one child with someone and then have another child with someone and you aren't over that first person, that's going to carry over to the next child and the next relationship. And you could end up paying more attention to the person who gave you a child previously more than you are with the person you with now. So I feel like if you aren't with that person from back then just leave it as y'all have a child together. It shouldn't be anything else other than that. And I just gotta emphasize, no matter what you and the mother or you and the father have going on with each other, it should not have anything to do with the child. The child should stay out of it. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as the mother or the father isn't abusing the child, lying to the child, or trying to pit the child against the other parent. It's no reason for the kids to be brought in the middle of anything, in my opinion. Um, it's I'm gonna say comparison also, because sometimes when you're co-parenting, parents might try to compare themselves to the other. Like, let's say um one parent has a two-bedroom apartment, the other parent has a three-bedroom apartment. One has a car, one doesn't. Like, it's just small things, like trying to measure up to the other when nobody should be doing that. Nobody should be worried about what the other has going on. No, nothing like that at all. You should have your separate lives. If y'all aren't with each other and y'all co-parenting, nothing else matters other than that child. So comparing yourself to them or to the other person they're with, that does nothing but make you feel worse. It's kind of like an inferiority complex. Did I say that right? I think I did. It's like you don't want to look at a person as competition. You don't want to look at someone else as a comparison to how you are. I don't do that. I feel like nobody should. I feel like if you're going to be a parent, you focus on parenting. You focus on instilling good morals with your child. You focus on letting them know right from wrong. That's what you focus on. You don't focus on the other parent and what they got going on. That's terrible. And I've heard, I know for a fact, like, people will go out their way to make like fake pages to like monitor the other what the other person is doing. They'll like look at somebody's page from somebody else's page, and that's only fueling your inferiority complex. Like, you looking for stuff to get upset about, to get down about, when you should not do that. Me, I promise. I'm being as fair because I feel like everybody has a side to the story, so I'm not bashing anyone, and I don't want anybody up here coming to bash anybody. But I just feel like it's no point. It's no point in comparing. There's no point in comparing. I make sure I don't follow any of the mother of my child's pages. I don't go to her pages. I don't. look at her pages through my son's phone. I don't ask people for information because I don't care. And I don't want to make that sound like rude, but like I have my own life just like she has hers. And I don't interject myself into anything revolving her life. Anything about anything. If anything, my son would tell me more than I would want to know. Because y'all know kids, they will willingly snitch or tell everything without you even asking. But the only reason I know anything is because my son would tell me. But I don't go looking. So when you don't go for looking, you won't worry about comparing yourself. You are you, they are them. You make sure you are handling what you're supposed to handle to the best of your ability, and that's all you can control. So I just say like, don't don't compare yourself to anybody. 100%. That's a no no. Okay, give me 1 second, cause I gotta finish this, y'all. Cause I've been holding this shit for a minute. My bad. Just give me like a few seconds. Oh, and by the way, I hope everybody is having a lovely night. I don't know if anybody else is in here watching me. If you are, I appreciate it. And if you aren't, it's cool because I'm going to upload all of this to YouTube tomorrow. So it's all good. But give me 1 more second. I do want to have other people on here to share some of their like experiences with co-parenting and just picking other people's brains about situations and stuff like that. I definitely want to have more people on here. And just like that, bam. Okay. Now, there are signs that you could be experiencing jealousy in co-parenting. One sign is wait, what did I say? Oh, some parents really get heated. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm a dive deeper into it. A lot of parents, co-parents, get heated. They get upset when their child is just constantly bigging up the other parent. They feel like they might feel like they aren't doing enough. They might feel like they have to one up the other parent. Just 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 childish antics when their child is talking about the other. They might not vocalize it, but they'll do stuff petty like let's say if you take your kid to like a comic convention, instead of like genuinely trying to learn like why their kid likes stuff like that, they'll try to one up you by I guess doing the same thing or doing something I guess more extravagant instead of just doing it out of the genuineness of their heart. I feel like that's that's really bad because you should want that. You should want your child to have good stuff to tell you about their visit to their other parent. So would you rather hear um my mom jacked me up, my mom made me stay in my room all day, my mom made me work, my mom did this, or would you rather hear, oh dad, my mom, we went to the comic book store, I learned how to draw something today, I learned how to shoot a basketball. Like you don't want to look forward to having something bad told to you. So I don't understand why some parents get upset when their child has good things to say about the other parent, but I feel like that just stems from insecurity. Cause I feel like when you aren't happy with yourself and your child comes back telling you good things about the other parent, that just sends you off the deep end. So in return, you may be spiteful, maybe not even towards the other parent, it could be spiteful towards the child. But that's another subject for another time. Um, Feeling competitive, like I just said, about who buys them what. Um, Me growing up, my parents never really cared about like the fancy shoes. I honestly didn't either. I was okay with like three or four pairs of shoes. But some parents feel like, oh no, my son or daughter needs 20 pair or 30 pair. And that's crazy as hell. In my opinion, that's crazy as hell. I told my child that I'm not spending 200 plus dollars on one pairs of shoes that you're going to mess up the next day. Now, if my child were to show me that they could take care of shoes that are $200, then that'd be different. But mine has not shown me that yet, so I feel like I'm not going down that route. But it's no need to break your pockets to try to prove you're a better parent. Spending money doesn't make a person a better parent. Genuine love makes a person a better parent. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. Um, Seeing the other do stuff with their significant other online with your child. Now I know that's a sensitive spot for a lot of people. A lot of people hate that. Me, like I said, as long as my child is safe, post all you want. I don't I personally don't care about what is going on the other side. So you should do the same. And when I say you, I mean everybody. Don't worry about what's going on over there. Worry about what you can control and not control it in a negative way. I mean, what you have going on in your life is what you got going on. What they got going on doesn't matter. And I definitely know a lot of people get frustrated when they see their child taking pictures with somebody that isn't their mom or dad. Why? I don't know. Me personally, I don't care. I just care about safety. But I feel like it's weird because you would want your child to be around someone like that. You would want your child to be in the company of someone who would take care of them as they mother or as they father when you're not around. So whenever I see like women or men getting mad at a baby a stepdad or stepfather or I mean a stepmom or whatever or a girlfriend figure or boyfriend figure, when I see people get mad at them for doing stuff for their child, that's the dumbest shit you could do. You have someone who is willing to spend money on your child that you don't have to spend, and you would ruin that because you don't want them to be a mom or be a dad in your child life. That's dumb. Do you understand that that person that is being nice to your child also has a family? What if they be together? What if they be together? Then they whole family is a part of it now. You're lessening your resources by trying to be standoffish and not let this person care for your child while they're with the person who provided you with a kid. There should never be a problem with that. I find it weird. As long as this man or this woman isn't saying, "Oh no, I'm his mama," or "No, I'm his daddy," you should not be upset about that. You have another person who is making sure your child is safe and is also taking care of your child. You should not be threatened by that. If a man is stepping up and helping, if a woman is stepping up and helping, why would you be upset about that? Are you threatened by it? Do you feel like the man or woman is trying to like take your place by just doing what a girlfriend or boyfriend does to the person they with child? Would you rather them like be mean to your child? Of course not. So if my girlfriend were to buy my son something, it should not be a problem. Just like it shouldn't be a problem with you. If my child wants something and my girlfriend provides it for him, that shouldn't be a problem. It should be a blessing. Just like if a guy who his mom might be dating were to buy him something, I'm not gonna be mad and be like, no, you're trying to be his dad. That'd be pointless. That'd be childish. It'd be petty. I'd appreciate it. Just like I appreciate like my son would tell me about how he games with him. I love that. I want my son to get into gaming. So when he tells me stuff like that, I get happy and I'm like, yo, I really appreciate that because he doesn't have to do that for my son. He doesn't have to do that, but he does, and that's real as hell. And that's what I want people to understand. Like, if you have somebody willing to do for your child, do not take it as them trying to be their dad or their mom. Take it as, oh, we're in the same village and you helping my child, and I appreciate that. Anybody who takes someone who's helping their child out as like, oh, you're trying to be their mom or you're trying to be their dad, they're threatened. They are 100% threatened. And not being mean, but hit dogs will holler. And if they feel threatened, that's what it is. They don't want help from your significant other because they're afraid that they might gravitate towards them more than the actual parent. Yes, that is a thing. It is a thing. But me personally, I've never worried about that because I just want my son safe around safe people. And if a guy gives him some clothes, plays some games with him, make sure he's okay, I'm okay. But people and pride, it gets in their way. Or it just could be because they still are caught up on you. Like I said, it's 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 hard to explain. But some people just can't let go of you. And it is what it is. But that's one of the other things. Yeah, feeling threatened by the new partner's involvement. I just covered that. Um, and wanting to one up you. I kind of touched on that, but I'm not gonna talk too long because I got stuff I gotta do. But the one upping thing is no need. One upping a parent, it doesn't do anything. It's no point. It's a game at that point, and nobody has time to play games with a whole living child. So if you find yourself being petty, and this is kind of hard because a lot of petty people, a lot of narcissists, they either don't realize they're petty and are a narcissist, or they know and they don't care to change. And when you try to present certain things to them, they take it a certain way on purpose to avoid accountability. So when you keep trying to one up a person, it's blatant what's going on. But they'll disguise it as being genuine when it's not. It's just you're competing with a person who isn't competing with you. It's like you're trying to step in front of somebody who isn't even in the race. They're just being a parent. So if you find yourself trying to like one up the other parent, just sit back and be like, yo, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to prove I'm the better parent? Why am I trying to sway my child to like me more? You shouldn't do that. There's no point to do any of that. They're kids. It's no point. So if you are doing that, or if you are going through any of this, I get it. I see it. I've experienced some of it. I've known people who are personally going through it also. It's okay. But I want you to know that you got to be the bigger person. Sometimes you might want to lash out. Sometimes you probably have lashed out. We all have. But now that you've got the lashing out over with, get it together. Don't fall for anything. Just try to be the best parent you can be. And I will leave it here tonight. Hopefully, I will no hopefully, 'cause I got a lot more I can talk about, but we're gonna take it slow. We're gonna take it slow. Hopefully, I can have other people in here with me. I'll try to do it more often, but I feel like this is a pretty chill first little, I guess, episode or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, jealousy and co-parenting is real, and It will only change when both of the parents are honest with themselves. It's not going to work if only one is honest with themselves. And I'll leave y'all with that. Y'all have a blessed night, and I will see y'all another day. Peace out.